Hey everybody, Jeff, your executive gardener here. Hey, I'm just going to do a little bit of a different episode, but I'm going to remind people why I got into the world of gardening and how I still enjoy it. Like many of you, I lead a very busy lifestyle, and sometimes all we think about is the future, and we can't kind of get engaged in the present and what's going on. So one of the reasons why I started gardening was to kind of be one with nature and relieve stress and also eat healthy food and grow my own food. And I found it to be very pleasurable. So I'm going to show you just a few things that I find to be, to me, therapeutic and relaxing in gardening. And, one of them that I love is in the springtime, my lemon trees, these are dwarf lemon trees, start to blossom. And it's too bad you can't smell the lemon blossoms. But what's happening now is with this lemon blossom tree, all the bees are doing their work. So let me give you a close-up and see if I can find a bee that's actively at work. So if you'll take a look at those lemon blossoms, you smell them, they're just unbelievable. Each blossom, of course, needs to be pollinated, and the bees do that work. By having this, and there's one right there, just kind of get a close-up of the bee, kind of doing what they do by pollinating these flowers. These bees go from one to the other, and they pollinate these flowers, and as a result of the pollination, we have lemons, lots of lemons. I just think it's remarkable, and for me to be able to witness this and watch, sometimes I'll come out here for 10, 15 minutes and just observe the bees. And most people are, of course, afraid of bees, but they are nature's pollinator. And we need bees, for the most part, to have cucumbers, squash, most of the things that many people take for granted. But in many parts of the world, they have issues with finding bees. But you'll see they just are busy doing what they do. And as a result, this tree that I have produces probably 50 to 100 lemons per year. And it's just unbelievable, this Meyer lemon tree. And there's another one up there. So this tree, where most people would probably run for the cover, is just flooded with bees doing their work. And they'll do their work here in the spring, and then at the end of the season, they'll move on to my tomatoes and cucumbers and other plants. But it's really important, again, if you have that you have some type of flowers or some type of blossoms to be your pollinators, so they can do the work on the cucumbers and squash and all the others. But anyway, this is something I just wanted to share with you, the lemon tree in my backyard. So another thing to look at is apple blossoms. So these are some apple blossoms on an apple tree. And again, I've talked about this before, but you can grow apples in Houston, Texas. Get the right variety like Golden Dorset or an apple. And those blossoms then turn into apples. So let's take a look at some of the apples you'll see here. There's one right there. Excuse me, right there. And there's one there and a few there. And now these are a little bit bitter. They're not as good as a Golden Delicious apple, but nonetheless, they are an apple. And I think it's just kind of cool. And this tree is a mix of a Golden Dorset. Some of these are golden and some of these are red. So the Anna apple is that brilliant red right there. And there's some additional red ones up there, if I can scope in. But anyway, just a beautiful apple tree, and it does produce a lot of apples. It's kind of a competition between myself and the squirrels to see how many we can each get. But as you can see by the top, there's still a lot of blossoms, so a lot of apples will still produce. And then there's some branches that haven't produced anything at all. So hopefully, relatively soon, we'll have blossoms on this. This is the one side of the tree. This side is doing fairly well so far. But another piece of nature that I just love in gardening. Another great sight for gardeners is the first sign of fresh tomatoes in the spring. So you'll see this one is in a 5-gallon bucket. Very well nutrients. First, it starts with those blossoms, and then it turns into those beautiful little tomatoes. Now on this is a new big dwarf tomato. So this will produce fruit that's about 6 to 8 ounces. Unbelievably juicy, good for fresh eating, slicing in BLT sandwiches or whatever you like. But I know the people probably up north are watching this saying, man, I can't wait to get my tomatoes. But I just love tomatoes. Family loves tomatoes. We grow so many tomatoes that we give them away to friends. But tomatoes are another great reason for people to garden and to be at one with nature. So most of you may be looking at this and saying, what in the world is that, Jeff? Well, what that is the first sign. That's what grapes look like when they first start on the vine. So most of you that are watching this can, without question, in your backyard, grow some type of grapes in your backyard. So these things will actually turn into little flowers, and then they will turn into grapes. But they appear to be little grapes, but those things will bud shortly and have little flowers, and then you just have tons of grapes. So this is a Concord vine. So if you live in Houston, Texas, this is one of the few grape varieties that will grow in Houston, Texas. So it's not really susceptible to Pierce disease. Please, if you live in Houston or Louisiana, don't waste your time or money on getting a Chardonnay vine or a Cabernet or a Merlot vine. They will die here. They will get Pierce disease. But if you want to do muscadines or Concord or a few others that are immune to this Pierce disease, you can do it. But with this is more of a jelly type of grape, and you certainly have the ability to make jelly, or you can eat them fresh, but they're a little bit tart for you. But I just love every year. Any of you could go to Lowe's, Home Depot. If you live up north, you can get probably Merlot cab grapes if you're in Pennsylvania or Ohio. But if you're in the south, the far south, don't waste your time with those. But I love watching. Every year I cut this back and then I just watch the grapes come up here. Again, it's a battle between us and my family and the birds to see who can get the grapes first, but we're not the only ones that like them. But I just enjoy the beauty of watching grapes each year grow in and so forth. And this is in about a 20-25 gallon pot that we just keep fertilizing every year. And then also, let me go over here. You may be wondering what this is. This is a blossom for a nectarine tree. So this is also in a 20-25 gallon pot. I fertilize it every year, and then as you'll see, it's just starting to the leaves come out of the branches, starting to set flowers, and then the bees will start attacking this in a good way and pollinating this as well. So hopefully I'll get some nectarines as well on my small dwarf nectarine. Certainly last but not least, there's nothing like looking at a fresh spring garden. In this garden I have tomatoes, hot peppers, sweet peppers. I have an eggplant down there. I've planted some radishes, but if you look down the row, it's nothing but small pepper and tomato plants. Just a great site. No weeds, freshly fertilized, new compost, new fertile soil, and I already have some peppers. So let me give you a close-up on some of the peppers that I have. These are shishito and Jimmy Nardello, but I'll give you a close-up on a few of them. The flowers have just started turning into fruit. So you'll see there I've got actually two little peppers that are starting. I think those are shishitos. Here I have two. There's a pepper down there that started and some flowers up there. I think we've got a few peppers there. Certainly a few peppers that have started there. I mean, look at this little plant. It's a tiny little plant, but yet it's putting off fruit already. And then I think without question, this is a Jimmy Nardello. So if you take a look at this, this is, I've already got two very nice size peppers on this, okay? Of course, this thing that you're looking at will grow. It's only about 10 inches high now, but it will grow to be 2 feet tall, and lots of peppers. As you go throughout the season, just make sure you keep giving it nutrients. That way it'll continue to put out a bunch of flowers like you'll see here, and those flowers will give you peppers, okay? So, but looking at it from the other direction, let's just take a look. Again, there's just nothing like looking at a new garden with no weeds and nothing but baby plants. Any one of you watching this can do this. in your backyard. If you've got a backyard, you just need a little bit of space, and it will produce more fruit or more vegetables than you can ever imagine, okay? And I see there's a small tomato right there, okay? So, all good stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video, share it with the viewers, and reiterate another time why I decided to start gardening. It's extremely therapeutic. It allows you to be in the moment and appreciate everything that nature has to offer. I know all of us, as we get busy, whether you raise children, or whether you're a teacher, or whether you're an executive, or whether you're whatever, an accountant, an engineer, a doctor, all of us get stressed out. But this is a great way to de-stress and enjoy time with nature. Plus, it can replenish your body with healthy food. So anyway, not a lot probably taught in this video, more of an appreciation video. I'll be back next week to give you an update on some of the other things going on in the garden. Until next time, this is Jeff, your executive gardener. Bye for now.